Okay, so our next keynote speaker, our very first keynote speaker, I should say, she is called Mama Nike by her numerous fans. She's a multi-talented, award-winning artist and a social entrepreneur. She's a painter, a textile artist, weaver, and an embroiderer. As a social entrepreneur and a philanthropist, she's well known for championing the cause of the neglected Nigerian rural women, using art as a tool to self-emancipation. Nike's Center of Arts and Culture in Osogbo has trained over 3,000 young Nigerians, mainly violated and abused young women, who have gone on to earn decent living through art. Amongst her numerous awards is the 2006 Ordine della Stella della Solidarietà Italiana, one of the highest Italian national awards of merit given by the government of the Republic of Italy in appreciation of her efforts in using art to address and solve the problems of Nigerian sex workers in Italy. Mrs. Nike, beg your pardon, Chief Mrs. Nike Monica Okundaye is happily married with children. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this woman's, I couldn't go through it all today, but they've simplified it really nicely. If you read through her profile properly and the work that she's doing and the impact of her work, it is simply amazing. And it is a huge honor to have her in our midst today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, can I ask us all to rise as we welcome Chief Mrs. Nike Monica Okundaye. Let's continue to clap as she comes. I've always admired this woman, and it's a huge honor to welcome you here today, ma'am. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. I have to greet you in Yoruba. First of all, I have to thank all of you and the organizer, ladies and gentlemen. I stand before you today to just talk about my life and also how we can use creativity to really change some people's life from depression to success. I was born into poverty. My parents have no money to even train me through school, so I have to start work at the age of 6. The way they pass education to kids in those days, you teach your child what you do, and that is the first education. So my mother died when I was 6, my grandmother died when I was 7, and my great-grandmother raised me. So she's a weaver and also an indigo dyer. Then my father is called Asindemade. Asindemade are the people who work with the king, who make the crown of the king. And all this work is what I was learning when I was growing up. But just to have little education, I said I must go to school. And you know, in those days, we are not privileged, especially the female, to go to school. They would rather send the boys to school instead of the girls during my own time. And if you go to school and you get pregnant, that is it. So you are no more allowed to go to school. But thank God, thank the organizer today. It's a woman's world. I want every woman here to clap for themselves for being a woman, for being somebody who lifts another person up, and for joining this organization. I thank you all. So my life start, I was also forced into early marriage. Then I have to run away at the age of 13 after I finished primary 6. So my father have no money, and he want to use the dowry of £5 to train my brother. That is how he want to marry me to an elderly man who is 60 years old. Then I said, no, I'm not going to marry. He said, I walk from Ogidi, my village, to Osogbo, which is almost 4 days, day and night. Then in the night, I will sleep by the roadside. But there is no armed robber in those days. So that is how I get to Osogbo with my mother's sister. So then I said to my mother's sister, she's an adire maker. Then I said, I would like to learn more about this adire. Adi, are, adire. And Susan Wenger, who is an Austrian woman, come to Nigeria to learn our trade. She is the first female Austrian woman to stay in Osogbo. And she said she come to learn the adire from my mother's sister. So that is how my mother's sister took me to her. And then I talked to her. I said, I want to be like you. Then the woman said, I come to learn this thing, the trade you are doing now. And if you can focus and do it, this will take you to a greater point. Then I said, okay, any work I do, by then I can hardly speak a word of English. I will say, signature might try. Little by little, anything I do, I will wear it. And then I will show people, when you do this work, when you wear it, you look beautiful. When you want to sell to other people, you will say you will look more beautiful when you wear adire. That is how adire now started. We normally, adire has been in Nigeria for a long time. We have some of our parents who just live on adire, and it's a teamwork. Not only one person do adire. Adire is the way you transform and also talk to people through your own fabric. So in those days, they always say, "Eniyan laso mi," people are my fabric. And who are those people? The people closer to you, the people who are your friend. When you are doing something, all of them will get up and wear the same fabric with you. And that is how adire is known all over Nigeria. The Igbo call it Insigbide from Cross River. Then the Hausa call it tie and dye, but in Hausa name. But the Yoruba call it Adi, Are. In Abeokuta, it's very popular, the one with stencil. In Osogbo, the one with hand-painted. In Ibadan, they have Ibadan Dun. In Ijebu, all the whole country do adire. So this textile is the textile that's supposed to live forever for us. So this textile has taken me to so many countries. In fact, I was in Suriname recently, and they want me to come and teach those people there. They need us. They said they want me to come and open a center, which the vice president is ready to do for them, and then I will be teaching adire. But I told them I'm doing generation, training the trainers. When I train you, you train other people. And that is how I train my own daughter. All my children, I have 7 children, and I train all of them into the art. And I always send them to different parts of the country and let them also train other people that have been trained by me, so they will also train. Like tomorrow, if you want to come to Osogbo, you can come and train free of charge. It's free. The center I have in Osogbo is training 36 states, and students come every 6 months from 36 states in Nigeria to learn why they are still at the university. So instead of them to be thinking of, oh, I don't have money, where will I get a job? I'm not going to get a collar job when I finish. It's a job. It's a job. The textile is a job in Nigeria. Then the one in Kogi is training 265 women who are elderly and widows who lost their husband. And they have no means of surviving. So those ones, I make a big hall for them, so they come together and they weave. And these women, they do They now turn it to jacket, trouser, and people are coming to Kogi State to buy from them. Then the one in Abuja is recycle, turning trash to treasure, turning waste to wealth. When Abuja started, they invited me to come and train artists there. But not all the people have talent of learning. But what we do is, when we open the center, when people are trouble, they bring them. Sometimes just little one word can save people's life, because a lot of people commit suicide. A lot of people just think this world is worthless, but this is a golden word for everybody who have value for life. So when they bring them, we put the material down. We ask them to put it together, and then whatever they put together, we help them to weld it together, and then it becomes an art. So they use art. We use art like therapy. We use art. Now, you can see what I'm wearing. All these things I'm wearing, these are recycled from pure water bottle. Pure water bottle. And even the one I put on the head tie is all recycled from pure water bottle. So you can walk from your home. You can also walk from behind your home. This is just something you can do when you are worried about something. So art is not just art. Art is life, and art is like therapy. I'm going to ask my daughter, because she's a mother of twins. One of them is here. I want them to just talk just 5 minutes, because why I always give them opportunity to talk, because they also travel to many places on my behalf. And it happens she's here with her husband. Her husband is a Elisha man, and she is half Wales and half Nigeria. Okay. Come
Good morning, everyone. Oh, good afternoon, actually, everyone. First of all, I just want to say, I live in Lagos, Nigeria, and to have a dedicated event to emotions is unheard of. It's amazing that we've got to this point where we're speaking openly about what emotions can do in terms of how we think, how we feel, and how we act. So I just want to say, let's give a round of applause for even having this and also attending. And also, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. I'm sure when she said daughter, many of you were like, that is not her biological daughter. But yes, she carried me for 9 months. She is my biological mother. My father is Welsh. My name is Alison Davies. I am an equity and inclusion specialist. Essentially, what that means is I help organizations empower and give power to underserved communities. And the reason why this event is so important to me personally is because I grew up in a Nigerian background. And if, like many of you, you grew up in African backgrounds, you know that when you're young, they often say children should be seen and not heard. So we don't get the opportunity to really express our emotions vulnerably when we're young. And if we don't get to express them, that means we don't get to understand them and understand the right coping mechanisms. I have 2 young boys. They're twins. They are full of energy, 1.5 years old. And when they go outside, as a cautious mother, when they have these loud emotions and they're screaming, my natural instinct is to say, shh, it's fine, it's going to be okay. It's to silence them. It's to mute them. It's because I feel like I'm going to be judged by how they're responding, which means that we have learned as adults that for emotions, they need to be suppressed. They need to be muted. And as I got into my 30s and I started doing more of this work, I actually learned that I don't know the difference between different emotions, between sadness and anger, shame and guilt, anxiety and depression. And if you don't know the difference, then you can't use those emotions to your advantage, because there's no such thing as a bad emotion. There's unpleasant and pleasant feelings. So I started learning about different emotions, and I started helping organizations with how to uncover them. And one of the emotions is anger. something that we probably have all felt. But anger is based on a past event. It means I might say something to you right now to offend you, that's past. And it's triggered me. It's triggered me because of history and other things that I perceive to be negative. Now, first line respondents, which is police, ambulance services, all of these people that are driven in action to get to a scene, they have a shorter life expectancy. The reason they have a shorter life expectancy is because they don't release their anger. When it comes to anger and how to deal with anger, many times we think we're dealing with it by processing it. Oh, it's fine, it's out of my system, and we're telling ourselves, we're reassuring ourselves it's okay. You're harming yourself by doing that. If you've not been taught how to deal with anger, you are harming yourself long-term by doing that. Anger has to be physically released from your body. You have to scream, you have to shout, you have to dance, you have to move your body to release those stress hormones. If you don't, later on is when they catch up with you. And I just want to point out, we live in a country, my mom and I, we live in Nigeria, Lagos, we have a shorter life expectancy. When we're angry, we're not allowed to express it. We have a shorter life expectancy. These are things that can help you prevent situations later on. When it comes to anxiety, it's about future emotions, right? It's about you're thinking about an event, then you're like, oh, how would I respond to that? How would she respond to that? Oh, what if this goes wrong? And you start planning this whole scenario. Now, with anxiety, it can be something as small as breathing, but it can manifest itself into shaking. It can manifest itself into nausea, into vomiting. And then somebody told me the quickest and easiest tip that I didn't even know of. And I've never felt anxiety, or at least I didn't know I had. But that's also the problem. If you don't know how to respond to an emotion until you're in the situation, then you're kind of muddling through life, figuring out how to get the best out of it. If you ever feel anxious, if you ever feel short of breath, the first thing you do is try and do deep belly breathing. And how do you do that? Just put your tongue at the roof of your mouth. It's as simple as that. So I'm going to ask you all to do that right now. Something really simple. If you ever feel anxious, put your tongue at the roof of your mouth and take a deep breath in for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathe out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That immediately makes you be more present, right? And focusing on the things around you. There's so many different emotions, and hopefully as we go through today, you'll learn different things that can help you in life. But this is just a short thing to say that my mom, watching her use creativity has really helped me as an adult in terms of how it can be a therapy. When we went through COVID, so many people found that they took up gardening, they took up painting, they took up sewing, they took up all these different creative things. That's because creativity has been linked to resilience. There's no such thing as a mistake in art. Art can be if you're good at an Excel spreadsheet. Whatever it is that you're creative at, there's no such thing as a mistake. It means you look at the problem in a different way, which is how do I find a different solution? How do I pivot? That's one thing that she's always taught me. Being called up here to stage today was definitely not on my agenda, but how do I use it as an opportunity, right? And I think when you have somebody who is role modeling that, even if you're not taught about the emotions, what you can be taught is that in any situation that you're in, there is a solution or a different way of thinking about it. So my only message is today, try and take as much as you can from today's workshop, even if it's one thing to help, and then pass that knowledge on, because this is really unprecedented to have something like this, where we're speaking about emotions and we're helping and supporting our own community. Thank you.
Was in Italy, we have 5,000 Nigerian prostitutes, and a lot of them are killed by the people from the other, I won't say mafia, but they now say, what can we use to solve this problem? Oh, Nigerian women used to use their hand to walk. They don't use their body. So, but some of these ladies, they don't even know they are going for prostitution. So they are telling them there is a shoe factory. That is how they are going to be working. So when they get there, they will tell them, it's no more shoe factory. So the mafia who killed almost 29 in between 1 month, and all of them are from Benin City. My husband is from Benin. So they decide to, the Caritas and the Intercultural, they now said, what can we do? So I went there with 15 people. So we were now training in dancing, in textile, beadwork, painting. The time they were now learning all these things, so this helped a lot of them who believe that there is voodoo that is working on them. If they leave this job, they are going to run crazy, which is not true, because they believe in emotion, that the promise they have promised them that if you don't do what we want you to do, you are going to be like this. Just always think positive. Always think positive. And that is how we use art to change about 3,000 from 5,000, and each one of them are now independent through their own handwork. Being saying so, I was a victim of polygamous. So I was one of 15 wives. They married 14 wives after me with my first marriage. And I was saying, okay, let's make use of this. I have no mother. And anytime they bring another junior wife, I take them like my own. So that is how I was privileged to go to US in 1974. I see life through art when I went to US. And I keep asking those women, how come you people are married to one man and you still have your job? So they are now telling me, oh, this is America. I said, okay, I'm going to take something back home to my people. So this work that take me to America, immediately I come back, I start training the other co-wife. I said, there is a job that can take you away from this depression, because some of our junior wives, sometimes they will just mix soda with blue and they want to drink it and kill themselves, because not all of them are happy being in a polygamous life. There is so many things you can use art to do. Anyway, that is how I started. When I come back, I said there is a country where creativity can take you to if you can use your hand to work. And they said, take me there. So I started training them. I don't stop only that one. I keep going to the garage. There is underprivileged who are selling cola nut, peanut in the garage. So I will pick 20 at a time. I train those people. So they are now using police to arrest me, that I'm bringing feminists to the country. That these women, when I train them and they have money, they don't listen to their husband anymore. But I'm only training them when the husband put 1 naira down, so they will be able to put 50 kobo down. So little by little, I was able to overcome that one. And today, I said, let me just focus on training. So when I train you, you train other people. And that is how the Naked Center, I have one in Okusogbo, one in Abuja, one in Kogi, and the one in Lagos is jewelry, making jewelry. So we can train you in different sections. Anyone from UK who want to come home for 1 or 2 weeks and they want to learn, we are open to you people. And I thank my princess for bringing me here today. It's just because I love her so much. I'm coming from Suriname. So from Suriname, I was in China. So I have to come all the way just because I want to see you people. I thank you, and I pray for all of you here that evil spirit will never come your way. All your heart desire will be met. Anything you put your hand, we always bring you good luck. All this we ask in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. And in the name of Oba Atokwe, he said.
So.